session we're going to look at the plant kingdom. And the plant kingdom, there are characteristics that we need to look at, and these are the general characteristics of all plants. And then we shall look also at the basis which is used to make the subdivisions in this kingdom. And then later on we shall also look at the different divisions that we find in this kingdom. But before we go to the characteristics of the general characteristics of the plants, we want first of all to remind ourselves of the different kingdoms that we talked about previously. We saw that there are 5 kingdoms, and the first kingdom that we talked about was Kingdom Monella, where we have the bacteria. We also talked about Kingdom Protoctista, where we said we have the protozoas and algae. We also talked about Kingdom Fungi, where we had the molds, and now we want to look at the plant kingdom. Plant kingdom, it is a kingdom where we find all the plants. It's where we find all the plants, and these plants are different, but their characteristics that put them in the same kingdom, which is the plant kingdom. Despite the fact that they are different, we shall first of all look at the general characteristics of all organisms that are found in the plant kingdom. And one of the first characteristics is that all the organisms that we find in the plant kingdoms, they have chlorophyll. And chlorophyll is a green pigment that is found mainly in the leaves, and in most cases sometimes it can be found also in the stem, and it is responsible for the photosynthesis that takes place in the plant. This means that all plants or all organisms that fall under plant kingdom, they undergo autotrophic nutrition. They make their own food from sunlight and using chlorophyll. Then another general characteristics of all organisms that are found in the plant kingdom is their cell wall. You find that all organisms in this kingdom, they have cells that have a cell wall which is made of cellulose. And this cellulose is a strong component which gives the rigidity of the cells of the plant. Then another characteristic is the movement. Most or almost all the organisms in the plant kingdom, they have limited movement, meaning that they are fixed in a particular area. They are not able to move from one place to another place, and the movement is limited, and most of the movement is observed when the plant is growing. Another one, you will find that almost all the organisms that are found in the plant kingdom, they are multicellular. They have very many cells compared to some of the organisms that we looked at previously, which have single cells. But all organisms in the plant kingdom, they have multi-cells, having many cells. Then another characteristic is that they have a nucleus, which is enclosed in a nuclear membrane, meaning that all organisms or all plants that are falling in the plant kingdom, they are referred to as eukaryotic organisms. So we have seen that organisms in the plant kingdom, they have general characteristics that put them together and place them in that particular kingdom. And we have said that these organisms might be different, but these characteristics bring all of them together And we have seen that they have chlorophyll, they have a cell wall, they have a limited movement, they have multiple cells, multiple number of cells, and they have nucleus, or they have a nucleus. Now, we want now to look at the basis of the subdivisions. You will find that the plant kingdom is further subdivided into divisions. And these divisions, when they are dividing the plant kingdom into subdivision, they mainly base on the circulation of fruits in the body. Does the group of organisms in the plant, do they circulate the fruits through the body system of that organism, or they just absorb the fruits from the environment? Now that is a basis which they use when they are classifying and grouping organisms into subdivisions in the plant kingdom. Are they vesicular plants or non-vesicular plants? What we mean by vesicular plants is whereby they have the xylem and they also have the phloem. If they have the xylem and they have the phloem, then they are vesicular plants. If they don't have the xylem, they don't have the phloem, then we call them non-vesicular plant. That's one of the bases which is used in the dividing or grouping of plants or organisms into different subdivisions. Then another criteria which is used is reproduction. Do these organisms reproduce themselves by use of spores, or they reproduce themselves by use of seeds? That is also another basis which is used in the division of the organism in the plant kingdom. And then another basis that can be used is the size and the status of the organisms. What is the size and the status of these organisms? That one also can be used as a basis of grouping organisms into the plant kingdom. So we have said that the plant kingdom contains or includes many organisms or many plants. But these plants, they are divided into subdivisions. And when they are dividing them into subdivisions, they have a basis. And one of the factors that they consider when they are subdividing them is the circulation of fruits. That is having the vesicular system. And then another one is the reproduction. Are they using spores or they are using seeds? And lastly, we talked about the size. So after seeing the characteristics, the general characteristics of the plants, and also see the basis which is used to subgroup the organisms in the plant kingdoms, we shall start there in the next session to see the different divisions that we have